I am the Naboxed award-winning Naboxed, and guess what? Seasons don't fear the reaper, nor do the wind. The center of Fan Expo. That's right, the third and final day of Fan Expo, and I'm still here, folks. And I am the Reaper. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I sat through most of the Kerry Elwes Q&A. He had a lot of great stories. I'm a wrestling fan, so the first thing that he talked about was Andre the Giant, and a story about him and ATVs and breaking his toe. It was hilarious for me, at least. But yeah, they had a lot of great stories about filming The Princess Bride and all that sort of stuff. I also had my picture taken with Wallace Shawn, who autographed the Princess Bride shirt that I showed you guys on Friday. So yeah, stay tuned, folks. So far Sunday's going pretty good. I am the Naboxed award-winning Naboxed. I will keep talking about that. You're gonna have to put up with it. And I am wandering through the artist area of Fan Expo, and let's see what we have around here. Let's see.
Kate was playing in the shower this morning, and I was like,
we have some enamel pins and charms over here. Hello. Well, we have Nintendo, Pokemon, Kingdom Hearts, acrylic charms. Ooh, Final Fantasy. And we see Moogle and Chocobo. I grew up with Final Fantasy as a kid. I grew up on the Super Nintendo, so I remember Cecil Harvey and Kane. And then my favorite is 6. Miniature, 3D printed. We got to do some more artwork. Captain Cannabis. Dragon Ball Z stuff.
This is the first edition, like only made China.
We remember Ken Lashley from Saturday.
yeah.
I like that already.
The man himself, Ken
And then at
Lashley.
one point in time, they tried it. They're like they
I mean, it worked much better.
Okay, this, my friends, is the booth of Zach Thompson. Right beside, we have the Canadian dollar Nadler, Looney Nadler. Here we have here Cable, X-Men, more Cable and Magneto. And here we have, if you remember yesterday, we have Joyce Chin, female Wolverine.
For no reason. Like, she goes out of her way to be a person. They seem to show up at some of Audrey's.
And it looks like the other panelists, Arthur Adams, is eating right now. I'm not sure how comfortable someone eating would be on camera, so I'll not do that right now. We'll leave the man in peace.
You know, they've got that like aerodynamic feel that I love. You know, helps you fly through the air from one, part of the country to the other. Now, first off, Patricia, how is your Fan Expo Vancouver going?
I am loving Vancouver. It's my first time here, guys, and it's so nice to meet you all. And happy 2-year anniversary to Zelda Breath of the Wild and the Nintendo Switch. I'm so excited to be here on this day, and it's a nice perspective on the whole journey of the last 2 years.
Excellent. How did you and Kari know each other? Have you guys worked together before, or?
Yes.
Yes, we've actually, have we ever, I think what happened was she was sitting at a table by herself and I came and sat down and I think the first thing she said was, "Oh God, no." And then I just never left. So we've been hanging out ever since. Well, you know what?
Awesome.
Can I just say though that the whole reason that I bought the Nintendo Switch was because of your game, was because of Zelda. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it, and people don't talk much in it, but I love when you do. It's like, to me, it makes it as beautiful as it is. I think it really rounds it out, the fact that your voice is in it. So I was as you were saying, I was just like, oh my God, I actually bought that Switch and that game just for you, just for you.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. 2 years ago. Look at that. I didn't even realize it, and now here we are. You know,
I don't even know what is happening right now, but it's awesome.
it's best not to know what's happening right now.
Ever.
That's how I live life.
I feel like the third wheel. No, this is awesome. I love it. No,
That's all right, man.
Car, yeah.
It's,
Me and
you know
Car
what?
go way back.
It's a big booth. We can all sit at this table.
Now, Patricia, which came first for you? Live action acting or voiceover?
Ooh, theater came first for me. I started to train in theater, and that was followed by a little bit of TV, film, and voice work is something I started to do in school as well. So I've been doing that as long, always on the side.
Right. Awesome.
Can you tell us about your dancing career? Your dancing on ice
Oh yeah,
career.
right.
And, because this is actually incredibly fascinating. I think you should just know the width and breadth of all of the talent that is Patricia. But why don't you tell us how you got started dancing on ice all over the place?
Well, you start in one place, and then you go to another place, and then eventually it becomes all over the place.
Right. Well, when did you were you a speed skater first, or did you start with the dancing?
I actually played hockey for a little while.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Awesome.
Do we have some hockey players in the house?
I actually
guess
played
we are in
hockey.
Canada, aren't we? So, did you play hockey as well?
I played hockey. I took it up for a couple of years. A friend of mine was writing a hockey script.
Wait,
And
Jay Baruchel?
no,
okay.
but actually, no, I think it's a different guy. But I took it up. A friend of mine was like, Kari, you know what? There's a chance you might, and we could just have fun. It was one of my best friends. He was from Colorado and played hockey and just wanted to teach me. And so I bought some stuff on Craigslist, and next thing I know, I'm out there just dying. Because I mean, there is nothing like being in hockey shape. But I learned to play hockey. I learned to skate backwards a little bit.
That's why I played hockey.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was on this all-girls team in a little town in Michigan, and they recruited me because I was a figure skater and I could skate backwards. And they were like, you are the only one on this whole team who can skate backwards, so we need you to play defense.
Awesome. That's amazing. So, but you were already figure skating.
Yeah, I figure skated for the age of 6, and that was eventually what brought me to Canada. And I was a competitive ice dancer for a long time. And when that ended, I got into acting full time. So I was doing the both for a little while, and then, yeah, the figure skating ending. That was in the early 20s is when that happened.
Right.
But I was very serious about figure skating for a good long time.
Wow, that's amazing. That's serious commitment. How much would you train as a figure skating? I mean, when you were in it.
Yeah, I would wake up at like 5 a.m., drive to the rink in the morning, skate for an hour and a half, then go to school, and then come back and skate until the evening time, and then like do work. It was just like that every day, and then a lot of cross training as well.
Wow.
It's good discipline, as you know. It's useful when you're an actor.
Right. It's incredible to have all of these different facets of your life to be able to bring to your work.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
yeah, it's definitely a different, because you're working your brain as much as your body.
Totally.
Yeah. But that's amazing. But that's really fascinating to me. That's how you spent, your formative years before you started doing this. And were you? Did you go to school for theater?
I did.
No, this is great. It's a fun conversation, like a podcast almost between friends. It's very nice.
And like these random cheers in the back that aren't even from. Yeah, so I went to school at Concordia University in Montreal, and then I did my master's in classical acting, because again, I was really into theater in London. So I felt like I needed more training, and I wanted to get more into Shakespeare and the prose. And of course, that stuff is applicable to any kind of acting work you do, so it's very useful. So yeah, I trained there afterwards, trained a little bit in Russia, trained in Denver, and then came back to Canada.
London, Russia, Denver.
Colorado.
That's
Yes.
World hubs.
Yeah, it is actually a pretty great hub, yeah, for training.
So you've done voices in various video games. Do we have fans of Rainbow Six and Assassin's Creed out here, and of course Zelda fans. There we go. Do you ever play your own games and listen to yourself? And how is that experience?
I try to play my own games. I will say that Rainbow Six is off the map for me. It is so hard, and by this point I know all the pro players. So I'm like, why don't you guys just do that, and I'll clap. I have played several Zelda games. I've not beaten any of them, but I've played the original Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, and Breath of the Wild as well. And they're beautiful. I love their humor. It's so wonderful. Yeah, totally. And I've definitely played some Assassin's Creed as well. Assassin's Creed Rogue.
Cool. So how was the process from playing the Zelda games growing up, and how was the process from transitioning from, say, being a gamer and being a fan into, say, auditioning for the role and getting the role? Can you speak to a little bit about how that process came about for you to become Princess Zelda?
Ooh, well, the Zelda game came on the eve of a big move to LA. I took a big career jump, and weirdly, it was the first thing I auditioned for when I arrived, and I didn't know what it was. So I was just like, oh man, I really want to make a great impression, and so I tried very hard, obviously, for this audition, which led to a callback, and then it led me to getting a role in this game that I thought, this looks like a cool game, but I can't tell what it is. Signed the NDAs, and then they're like, by the way, this is Zelda, this is a new Zelda game, and you're going to be the first voice, and I was just like, whoa! Yeah.
So the lesson here is move to LA, it'll be right away.
The lesson here is that it takes a lot of years with whatever passion you have. Moving to LA does help sometimes, but also being ready if you are going to make that kind of career jump. I'm sure you can attest to this as well. Like,
one of the things that just hearing your story is that you, even in your formative years, have been training, all your life kind of for these roles. I don't know how many times I felt like I'd gotten something and I was and I thought to myself, I started learning comedic timing when I was 11. I started learning, the role for my big TV show. I started that
Walking
was
Dead.
That one. I started working on that when I was a kid because a lot of that is an impression I was doing of my uncle. You know what I mean? It's like there are these little bits and pieces that you've taken along your life. There's all of those 12 years that I almost did Shakespeare almost exclusively, is what led me to be able to have kind of an easygoing cadence for when this audition comes up, 20-something years later, but you do have to step out on faith, you do have to believe in yourself, and one of the things about Los Angeles is versus other places is that everyone in Los Angeles has this idea that the people who come here have a mentality that they want to be competing with the best of the best. That you're not waiting for it to come to you. That you don't care if I don't know, Morgan Freeman and George Clooney are going to be auditioning for the same stuff. There's a role out there that is specifically for you, and making that big jump was a big deal because they're not maybe auditioning Zelda everywhere in the world.
Right.
They're waiting for the person with the confidence to come to LA and say, I want to compete with the best. And all of that training gives you that confidence to be able to step out.
That's beautifully said. If I look at the steps that led up to getting this role, I mean, I'd already been voice acting for 10 years. Mm-hmm. I'd already classically trained in London and ended up prepping the role with somebody who I'd schooled with in London who had also moved to LA. And he was a British friend of mine, and he's doing really fun things now. But I trained with him because we'd already had this time in London together, and I just like all the steps that led up to it are quite funny. I already played several female warrior characters that were not like Zelda, but they were still sort of in that genre. So I kind of had a backing for it, I guess. It's
Right.
like, yeah, I'm sure you can speak to that, as you said.
Yeah, that's the thing. All of these, those classes that you take, that you're wondering how is this going to, affect my work later on. It's the buildup of all of those different things, and then when you get the job, you look back and you're like, dude, that class I took 12 years ago, this thing this play I did that changed the way that I work. All of those things kind of come together and make you the artist that you are.
Oh, it's so well said. That's so well said.
Awesome, thank you. Now, we of course always love here at Fan Expo to have questions from our audience. So, if you have questions for Patricia about Zelda, and also Kari, since he's here.
Yeah, guys.
Love it. If you have questions for our guests, feel free to come on up to the microphones. Here we go. We have a few. Thank you so much for your questions. And as a reminder, if you are taking photos during these panels, feel free to share them using the hashtag FXV2019. And since we're in the middle of a panel, Patricia, are you active on the socials?
I am, yes. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Somerset_. And I have a Facebook page as well with my name on it.
Perfect, awesome. Follow and become a fan just like we are. Let's start over here. Hello.
Hey!
If you could talk into the microphone a little bit closer, and if you can start by sharing your name. We'd love to get to know our fans as well.
My name is Kimberly. I met you yesterday.
Yes, hi Kimberly, I remember you very well.
I was just wondering, I read somewhere that your father voice acted with you. Is that true?
My father?
Yeah.
Gosh. No, who did that?
I don't know, maybe
It's amazing what you find online. Like,
If it's on the internet,
I found
must
like
be true.
documentaries about me and my life.
There's a dude walking around here saying, I'm Patricia's dad. We did it.
Okay.
I was the first Mario Kart.
Yeah.
My dad's a dentist, actually. But
My dad's a pediatrician.
really? Doctors, guys.
Doctors,
just have,
man.
No, did that have something to do with potentially Bill Rogers, who played King Rowan?
Okay, maybe.
Maybe it had something to do with that.
Yeah.
My dad was very supportive as a father. Played a lot with him, played a lot of sports with him, stuff like that.
Yeah.
No voice acting actually. I did with my sisters a lot. Not professionally, but we were constantly playing. I have 3 sisters.
Well, yeah, because you guys sing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we all sing as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, they're all artists.
My dad was not supportive. He was like, boy, get a real job.
What does he think now?
No, I'm kidding. Actually, he would always want me to get a chemistry minor so that I could work in a lab if this whole acting thing didn't work out. But then he saw me, I played Horatio in Hamlet after I got out of college, and after that, he never talked about chemistry again. He said I was an actor whether I was getting paid for it or not, which is kind of
You
awesome.
got it. That's
Cool.
beautiful. Oh,
Great. Thank you for your question. Excellent.
So, Breath of the Wild was the first Zelda game that really gave Zelda her own hero's journey. And because of that, there wasn't a lot of inspiration to draw from. Like, you had the complete opposite, that was Wind Waker, where it was Tetra, where she wasn't even the princess anymore. Like, there was no connection. She's never had any formal training as a princess. And then you had ones where she was the Deus Ex Machina and would show up and here's your light arrows, enjoy the final boss fight. So what inspiration did you take from for your Breath of the Wild version of Zelda?
Well, for one thing, I think whenever you approach a role, especially when it has a sort of iconic backing to it, you have to be really careful not to live in the past through your role and try to play the past. You have to play the person with the stakes that they have in the present. And so she has a lot of very relatable things about her, just the pressure that was on her, the relationship with her father, the relationship with her kingdom. And I leaned into that. I leaned into the person in her first and foremost. Aside from that, there's Hyrule Historia, there's all the other games, and of course as a backing and just to be able to learning Hylian and stuff like that. Those are all things that I've done to just sort of sweeten the whole experience of learning her. But yeah, at some point you really have to go for what's in front of you. So that those are the things, and that was all pretty. She's just so relatable, right? Like as a human being, as a 17-year-old girl who's coming into herself. Those are the main things that I learned, and then of course you also have a director and a vision from the creators that was really quite precise. They knew what they were going for too.
There's nothing like a great script that you can just let that lead you instead of having to feel like you've got to mine this rock, for something that, when there's nothing there. But a great script will just do wonders for help your imagination grow rather than, feel like you have to build it all yourself.
Absolutely, and obviously Nintendo, when they go in and they create things, their degree of precision and detail is it's immense. So they give you such a rich world to work with already. Yeah, I was very lucky to be able to have all those things to work with, for sure.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Over here.
That's a great question. You could be like a theologian of Zelda. I feel like, I think you should start that class. I would go to that college.
Hello. So my question could actually go to both of you, since you are both here. In the last couple years, I've kind of had a huge career change. I am very much a starving artist because I'm a professional puppeteer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So a huge part of that is obviously voice work. And as a puppeteer, there's no training. You kind of just go out and do it. So, and voice is a huge part as a puppeteer because that's how you portray the emotion. Since they can't see someone's face doing it, you have to do it with your voice. So I'm just wondering if either of you have advice on doing voice work and maintaining the voice and portraying those emotions.
Ooh, I mean, there's so many ways that you can go about it depending on what your instrument is too that you're working with. There have got to be puppeteering classes, I would say, specifically to what you're talking about.
They're very hard to get into.
Yeah. Are you based here in Vancouver? Or?
I am.
Oh, great. Here,
I think it's so much about. Did you have a?
Yeah. Here in Vancouver, there's and you probably already know these, but there's the Vancouver Puppet Festival, which is great. There are a few different theaters that do a few puppet shows. Monster Theater is one. I think puppet is something that here in Vancouver is slowly starting to find regular homes for. So
yes, and if anyone has elementary school children, I'm in a show called Cassie and Friends, and we will come to your school for free.
There we go. Oh, wow. Cool. Thank you.
But I think you're doing it the right way. You're passionate about what you do, and it's kind of you learn as you go. As far as vocal, characters and characterizations, I steal everything. Like I said, my character from The Walking Dead is based on 3 of my uncles. The way that they talk. One is very relaxed, the other one is kind of very heightened and has sort of a Savannah drawl, and I just kind of, moved it around a little bit. When I do cartoon voices, I steal all of those voices too.
You've done huge cartoons, right? And what are some of the things that you've done? I mean, I've done
like Teen Titans and Young Justice and that kind of thing. But it's the side characters that I love. I based there's the spirit of the couch that was supposed to teach people how to relax, and so I decided that he should talk like Bootsy Collins, baby. Because Bootsy tells everybody to relax and be easy. So, I play the voice of the Tooth Fairy, who I think is an incredibly creepy character who creeps into your house and steals your teeth. So I decided, I came in and thought Latka from Taxi, and so I said I wanted to take your teeth away from you, thank you very much. And I wanted to take them, and every time I said it, I would say thank you very much. But they said that we get sued for that, so I had to say ta-ta-ta-ta instead. So she became this little creepy little person who was like, give me your teeth, I want to eat them, ta-ta-ta-ta. And so just steal it all. You know, don't try to invent the wheel. As I'm walking through, I talk to different people. I'm going to steal something from all of you people, and I'm going to put it in a cartoon. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Other than that, I would also say improv classes in general, and just getting to know your voices as well as possible, and taking videos of it, and like, it sounds like you're doing all the things though. It sounds like you're sort of, I know it's hard. It's just, it is. It always is, and at any level it is. Don't think that there's like so much more cushy of an experience than what you're experiencing, you know, like it is what it is, and this job is always, you're always as good as your next job. You're always having to prove yourself over and over again. So just try to find the joy in whatever you're doing right now, and appreciate the fact that you get to do the form, and best of luck. I don't like saying
the fact
luck.
that you are literally like asking people, I will come to your elementary school and do this for free. No, because that's the difference between the artist and someone who's saying, hey, that seems like it might be fun. This is because the money will come or it won't come, but the passion can't be faked. The passion can't be faked, and when you stand in front of those kids and you've got your puppet and you're connecting on that level, you feel that energy, you feel that electricity that you can't see, but it's palpable. You know, you can't fake it. That's what will get you through. And the thing is, when and if you ever start to make a living at this, you'll look back at those times when you didn't make a dime, and you'll realize that you were already rich, because you were already doing what you were loved, and you were already passionately pursuing, you know, your work. And that to me is the artist, right? That's the heart of the artist. And that's all you worry about. Everything else will come. Let your passion lead you, right?
And be open to where it takes you. Whatever, like, it might not always be exactly what you thought it was going to be, but it will be great if you're open to it. It's always some weird version of the thing that you like have in your mind and the thing that the world gives you back. So yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Go do your thing.
Bravo. There we go. Thank you so much. Hello?
Hi. So I already know that you know the Twilight Princess Historia, or the Hyrulean. Do you know the other versions? And
of Hylian, you mean?
Yeah.
I only write one kind of Hylian.
You only know the Twilight
I'm sorry.
Princess one? How long did it take you to memorize it all?
To memorize Hylian? While Breath of the Wild was recording, which took about the span of a year, I had a lot of time to think about various ways that I could character research as well. So I would just sort of wake up in the morning with coffee and do my ABCs, and also the beautiful Zelda universe has this amazing transcription of various kinds of Hylian. So I chose that one, and I was like, you can put it in a Word doc and transfer your whole document into Hylian. They actually have a font for it online. Wow. I was like, oh, perfect. That's great. So I just transferred documents that I could sort of read, and it's hard to put a number on how many hours it was. It wasn't crazy, because it's like learning a certain kind of calligraphy, and highly worth it.
Highly worth it.
Highly and worth it.
Highly and worth it. Wow, we're here for you, people. Yes, you just drop the mic and walk away. That's the stuff. Patricia Somerset, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo, yeah.
Better get back up here.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you. All right, over here, hello.
Two questions different questions for both of you. So regarding Princess Zelda's accent, was that something that you decided or the voice director decided?
It was in the specs for the audition.
Okay.
And ultimately that's something that Nintendo decided and approved. And they weren't too worried about the variations of accents, because for them it was a fantasy world, and I don't think they thought that people would get so fixated on it, to be honest.
Oh, it doesn't bother me at all.
Well, it does bother some people, but it doesn't matter. Yeah.
It's the internet. People are going to get bothered. Yeah.
Honestly, the internet is you don't want to go on there and look at anything, but internet is crazy. But yeah, so that was something that they'd had. I think obviously because she's a princess, and there's a sort of the timeline, the magical timeline that nobody can ever agree on. I think it went with their vision of what, how would you say that? I guess like there's a royal system versus what you would have if it was like an American accent. So somewhere between Mid-Atlantic and UK, they went with that in general, fantasy. Yeah.
And regarding Cyborg, because you voiced that character for so long in the TV show and then the game, it's always that sense of ownership, that I am this character. So, you know, without getting anyone in trouble, what did you think of the movie version of Cyborg?
I mean, I feel like you just barely got to meet Cyborg in the movie. You know, I wish you would have gotten to know more about him. I mean, I'm lucky to be able to play Cyborg for so long and in so many different, you know, versions. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I would have loved to have played Cyborg in the movie, but you know, I'm getting, you know, he's a young man, and I got a few gray hairs these days. You know, I'm not the first Cyborg, and I won't be the last, but I do feel like that first Teen Titans television show, I feel like if you were really into comic books, maybe you knew who Cyborg was, but after that first Teen Titans TV show, I think that's when the greater world got introduced to Cyborg, and I don't think that he would have been in the Justice League movie had it not been for Teen Titans. So I feel kind of like a proud papa that after you know 15 years, you know, all of a sudden Cyborg isn't just some side character that very stringent, you know, comic book people know about, but the whole world kind of knows about. So I feel good. I feel good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi. My name is Jimmy.
Hi, Jamie.
Jimmy. Yeah.
Oh, Jimmy.
Sorry.
Jimmy. Hi, Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Cricket?
There you go, cricket.
What is your question?
I was going to ask, with the success of the first Breath of the Wild, do you think there's any chance of...
Oh, sorry, can you, into the microphone? Thank you.
With the success of the first Breath of the Wild, do you think that there's any chance of a sequel or more expansions, things like that?
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, they did release the DLC, you know, 6 months after. Or, well, actually 9 months after. I've got my timeline in my own reasons. I have no idea what Nintendo's doing, honestly. They have so many games and iterations of those characters, and it's hard to tell. I can't really speculate on that, and it's so NDA driven that I wouldn't anyway, but, you know, I wouldn't be surprised.
It's entirely possible that it could be, but she couldn't tell you if she wanted to.
There we are.
Would you like one if, like...
Oh, of course. Who wouldn't? Would anybody like a sequel to Breath of the Wild?
Yay.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you for your question. Thank you.
Hello, I am Disco Ben.
Oh, Disco Ben, yes.
Yes, I'm assuming you might remember me?
Yes, you were in cosplay yesterday.
Yes, and I'm the Grim Reaper today too, so...
Nice.
Yes, there it is.
Versatility.
So I'm wondering for both of you, would there be any like series, like whether they be games, movies, Marvel or whatever that you would like to really try to do that you have not yet done?
Ooh, I always have a hard time with this question.
I mean, I'm always excited by the fact that anytime I've thought to myself, oh, this project would be great to do. I'd love to do that. I never get that project, but the thing that comes along is always surprising and exciting to me, and I've rarely been disappointed in my career at the fact that whatever I was thinking of was the right thing for me turned out not to be. The beauty of this job is that you've always got to get another one, and you literally never know what's around the corner.
Ever.
It's so exciting.
Ever.
You know, and but if I had to say, I would love to do more Shikasta. It's a Dungeons and Dragons online part that I did on this show called Critical Role.
I want to do, that is actually something that I would like to do.
Yeah, there we go. Critical Role.
I'd like to work with Rooster Teeth, that's what I would like to do.
There you go, there you go.
There we are.
Awesome, thank you for your question.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
You got it. There we go.
I'm just loving the dynamic between the two of you on stage. stage, I was wondering if there's any chance of a Zelda-like character appearing in Teen Titans Go.
Ooh, that's an awesome idea. And I'm going to pretend that you never said it. Because if I tell them that somebody else told me that it happened, it might not ever happen. But I love that idea.
That is a great idea that you guys just had.
That is a... Sarah, I like where your head is at. Oh my... Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you know what? Check's in the mail. Nice.
He just stole that. He said he would.
Hello again.
I was just hoping you could do the voice. Can you say "wake up, Link" or something?
I never do I never do impressions that are recorded. No, NDAs. Just it's something that I've actually live in public whenever anybody's recording, because people are, and they'll put it up online. It's a general rule that I never do any Zelda voices. I know it's crazy, but I've had to make that rule. I know.
See,
I'll whisper it to you afterwards.
I get taken to jail like every 48 hours because I just say anything. And then I got to get bailed out. Fortunately, I have friends in Vancouver that can bail me out. They know where the jail is.
I'll bail you out.
See?
There we go. Hello.
Hello, Link.
Hi. I was just wondering, as a wrestling, were you disappointed in the ending of the game? Did you, I don't know why, I found it kind of anticlimactic. I would have loved for Zelda to play even more of a part and get to restore my role alongside her.
I think the interesting thing about that game is that it does leave with a kind of melancholic what has happened and what's going to happen next in the world. But I do think it's I think that's also what's poignant about it. It is a sort of reflection of the real world and pollution and the apocalypse. I think that's all in there. So in terms of it being anticlimactic, I don't know what Nintendo has next. They might expand on it, they might not. No, I wasn't horribly disappointed myself, but I've heard that before, that people found the ending just sort of, oh, that's it at the end. But yeah, it sort of depends on what's coming too, right? We'll see. We'll probably see in a few years.
They do have that dance party remix DLC that came out afterwards, where it was just like, it was just a big party. You probably didn't see that. Oh wow, exactly.
That DLC was so limited.
Oh my god, you know what I mean? It was like glow sticks. It was awesome. You should play that part of the game, then you feel better about it.
Deku scrubs everywhere.
Absolutely.
Also, we should just have a dance party with all the disappointed people.
Thank you.
I'll invite my parents.
Thank you.
Damn it, I'm going to jail again.
I'm going to go back in purgatory for 100 years.
Into the microphone, please. Thank you.
Hi, this question is for Corey. I was wondering, is there anybody on The Walking Dead that's been killed off that you wish wasn't? And if you could bring them back to the show and make them not be killed, is there anybody that you could bring back?
I mean, yeah, I kind of love everybody in my cast. I really hate that people die all the time on the show. But, it's
zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, I mean, you get on like one of the biggest shows on TV, and it's one of the, and you walk around just afraid to go around the corner because I feel like my showrunner is just sitting there with like a Nerf gun, and it's like if you get shot with that Nerf gun that Angela's holding, you're going home, but I mean, I guess I just have to say Shiva. I want my tiger back. I want my tiger back. How dare you give me a tiger and then take my tiger away?
I feel that way about Epona. I feel that way about the horse, yeah.
Yeah.
She's always gone and I don't know where she's going to go.
But it's better to have your animal and lost your animal than to have never had your animal at all. So.
Can I just, what? That's amazing. If you really love someone, let them go.
Let them go.
And if they come back when you whistle, it was true, right?
It was meant to be, exactly. And if they don't come back, somebody will print them on a t-shirt.
Hello, welcome.
Hi, so I had another question. So, like you said, Zelda in Breath of the Wild was a much more relatable Zelda than in other games. Just like a little back and forth, like my most inspirational scene with her was when she was in the Fountain of Wisdom and she couldn't do it. And we've all been there where we've tried to succeed at something and inevitably failed. And it wasn't because we couldn't do it later. And that sense of defeat and the moment, which I feel resonated with a lot of people. So the follow-up in that as an example, what was your favorite scene that you did for Breath of the Wild?
I'm always a little bit vague about when I talk about the actual scenes, just because a lot of people haven't seen them yet, and I don't want to ever spoil anything. There's still people who are just picking up this game now after 2 years of it being out. There we are.
Yeah, there might right there. She's currently playing Breath of the Wild.
Like
During
right
this
now?
panel. Yes, on her
well,
Switch.
there we are. Open your eyes. I'm right here. No, but I would say that some of my favorite, I really like frogs. That's definitely a thing. And you're like, what are you talking about?
I am very into the frogs as well.
There we are.
I don't know why you think I'm looking at you funny. That's the way I like to look at you.
Funny?
I like to look at you funny.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's all right. Okay, this is okay. I'm gonna shut up. You can answer the question. Frogs.
And also, actually speaking to what you're talking about the fountain scene, really one of the scenes that was quite emotional to record was when she accesses her powers.
Yes.
That was, for everybody in the room, it was like palpable. The air was thick with like deep sentimental enjoyment of that moment and tears. It was a tearful moment for everybody recording that. There are some scenes that are extraordinarily powerful, and just the weight of the whole series and what that means in terms of the larger picture was all there too.
I feel like there are just a lot of moments in that for Zelda in that game, because like you said, there wasn't this breadth of development necessarily for the character before, and there were so many of those moments where you were like, oh my God, she's how old? It's like, you know, there were all of these moments where I was playing with my daughter, and it was like, dude, you gotta get to this part. You know, we never knew that this was what Zelda was about, you know? And all of a sudden she was this truly, fully formed character, you know?
I love the fact that she is a little bit cynical and dark for certain moments, and she finds ways to overcome that in the most immense way, which is also what makes it a timeless epic story. But I can relate to that as an artist. I feel like if I didn't have art and I didn't get to pursue my own creative endeavors, I would be a much more cynical version of myself. And so it brings me back to creating my own work a lot, and also I think to just being a better artist out of necessity sometimes.
Because like I said, we've all been there. We've all been like had this moment where we were like promised or expected to succeed, and we didn't.
Right.
And it's a heartbreaking moment, but you don't stop anyways.
Yeah.
Gotta get back
well
up.
Said. Yeah, well said.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Our Zelda theologian.
Hi.
Love it. Hi.
So this could be for both of you, but if you could be any creature or like maybe like a Deku Scrub or Zora in the Zelda universe, what would you be? Daniel, you can answer that too, because
I'll start. I would like to be an innkeeper. Right? Yeah, right.
I love that.
And then inevitably Link comes in, smashes all my stuff, and then walks out the door, and then comes back in, and all the things are all back to normal. So it's great.
It's your insurance paying for it.
Yes, that's right.
I often think of Korok. Like I often think that, but maybe a dog, because they don't die, and they're so cute, and people want to pet them even if you can't pet them all the time. Like they're just loved.
That's a good life lesson. Be careful about who you pet. That's a very
yeah, that's a good one.
Be careful who, you know what, that's a good one. Be careful who you pet, people. No means no.
No means no. Oh, you don't know that's like a line where I tase. Anyway, anyway, that's. Anybody who watches Rooster Teeth knows that's a line that I just said on a podcast right before I tase somebody. It's really funny.
What about you, Kari? What kind of Zelda?
I mean, I would be the king, man. I want to be the king. I want to be the king.
Personally,
I'm just a regular dude. hanging out by the fire.
I could see this kid. Personally, I'd be a chicken.
Oh,
okay. Indestructible.
Yeah.
Indestructible chicken.
Indestructible, and I can call all my friends and be like, hey, let's go get that guy.
You can also help people fly.
And you can hang out at Lon Lon, the Lon Lon Ranch. Yeah.
That's a beautiful existence. Yeah, just, you know, seed on the ground.
Yeah, the all-knowing chicken.
Thank you, thank you. Now, time is running short, so we do have time for a few more questions. But speaking of other artistic endeavors, so Patricia, you are also a singer as well, with a variety of things. So I was wondering if you could share a little bit of your music. What do you? Where can people hear some of your music?
Ooh, it's going to be coming very soon. We're working on the mixing process of a new album right now for a band that I have. It's like a sort of folk fusion, and it has jazz classical elements to it. And hopefully we'll do a little bit of touring, maybe in the late summer as well. But you can check my socials. I'll be posting about it relatively soon as we're putting that together. Making your own music and making your own work is such a big joy as an art. Like, it's the best.
Awesome. And I will be working the merch table. So come by and see me. We have t-shirts, bumper stickers, holograms that you can, so you can sit with you in the car and actually sing to you next to you. It's awesome. It's incredible technology that we're putting together. Come talk to me at the merch table. It's going to be great.
There we go. Wow.
Yeah, he's the official logo. His face is the official logo for our band, Somerset Band. Yeah. SomersetBand.com.
Nice.
With the Peyton face.
With the Peyton face. I had no idea. Peyton face. There we go. Talk about this. Trademark.
We have another question. Hello? Yes, I believe this question is in the form of a YouTube video.
Dude, that was the most incredible question introduction I've ever seen.
You had an intro song.
You had your intro music for your intro. That's awesome. That's awesome. It's all going up from here.
What's your favorite video game?
Favorite video game?
Yes.
Favorite video game, yeah? Oh, that's a hard question.
Oh crap. There's a little indie game that I loved and I was very emotional playing, and I'm trying to think, in my heart it's that one, but what is it called? It's set in the Arctic.
Shovel Knight.
It's not Celeste, but that
Is it Alone?
Shovel Knight.
Yes! Alone?
We did it! We figured
Alone
it
is
out.
one of my favorite video games. Just because I also love the Arctic, and I've spent some time there, and seeing that video game and how it was created was, it meant many things socially for me too, because I can't speak right now. Anyway.
Mine, hands down, is Portal 2. Hands down. Yeah, I still continue to play that with my daughter, the tandem. I think we played it together just through twice. She would just sit on my lap and watch me play, and then as she got older and could hold the thing, then I always say that, she's my Atlas and I'm her Peabody. It's, Portal 2 all the way.
Oh my God, that's so sweet.
Okay, we have time for one last quick question, and then we gotta wrap it up.
Just saying for Ezekiel, played the Tall Tales series of The Walking Dead with like Clem and everyone.
I have played the Telltale series, and it's and honestly, it is gut wrenching. And every time I play it, I'm like, I'm making the wrong decision. It's the most nerve-wracking thing for me to play that, because every time I'm like, oh God, I shouldn't have done that. Why did I tell him the truth? Lie about everything. I play it. It's an amazing game. It's an amazing game.
Yeah, I cosplayed Clem yesterday.
Oh wow, awesome.
Great. Thank you. I think that the one thing that we all love here at Fan Expo, and speaking with you too, is that video games really bring people together. We all have such great shared experiences. And of course, with the modern video games, one of the reasons why we love video games they are now is because of the amazing voice acting, such as the ones with Patricia Somerset. So thanks so much, Patricia, for joining us here at Fan Expo. And Bakari Payton for joining in the fun. Thank you all so much. Definitely go check out Patricia. You'll be back in your
I'm
booth.
going to be back at my booth right after this, so come up and visit. And if anybody's got some amazing cosplay going on, you should all come up and take a picture for the 2nd year anniversary of Breath of the Wild.
There we go. Yeah. Thank you all so much. Keep your Fan Expo fun going. FXV 2019, use the hashtag. Enjoy. Go say hi to these two.
Thank you.
I know you from somewhere. We may have met 27 years ago. You look kind of familiar.
Yeah, like I really have to talk to them, like the guys over at accounting. You know, they have a lot of people have been slipping through the cracks. You know, I come to these Fan Expos and it's like I see a lot of people I know I've met.
Like me, perhaps.
Yeah, like exactly like you.
Maybe it's just a big coincidence.
Maybe you know, you supposedly have twins, right?
Yes, true that. But I must be going now.
Yeah, you probably should do that.
But
Bob from accounting, or you know what, or Bob, or James from wherever. I'm coming after you now. You're next. The final time we get to see this Jeep, folks, the Jurassic Park Jeep, and it looks like there's something in the driver's seat, and it is a comic, Jurassic World comic, and it looks like maybe a schedule in the passenger seat, or wait, no, move out notice. But this will go up after the expo is finished, so too bad for any of you who want to try to grab it. Here we have the Stick 'em Up booth. We got a whole bunch of artwork over here. I got some stickers too. Virgo the Virgin. That doesn't bode well for me. Okay, folks, so it looks like I'm going to make what will be my final purchase here at Fan Expo 2019. Going a little bit back to my childhood. Got here a Jean Grey picture. It reminds me of the early 90s animation that they had when she was a Phoenix. So, yeah. And in case you forgot, it was drawn by this man, Arthur Adams. We saw his panel from Saturday, so. And of course he has to sign it.
Very good. Thank you very much.
And thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Yep, folks. Feel like I'm just about done.
thanks. Bye.
Well, folks, feel like I'm almost done here at Fan Expo. Wanted to annoy these ladies one more time. Ellipses cosplay over here.
Not annoying us.
Hello.
YouTube.
And yes, they know I have a YouTube channel. I give them my card. Why? Because the only thing here that is better than my ass is my ego. Must self-promote. Hey, when you're in the Box of the Award winner, you have to promote yourself, okay? Why? Because I'm in the Box of the Award winner and many of you are not. Ladies and gentlemen, I am in the Box Award winning the Boxer, and I feel like I am done with Fan Expo this weekend. I've gotten tired. I still have things to do after this anyway, so I feel like this is it for me. I got my money's worth. It was well worth the money and the time that I spent here. I'm very happy. I got to spend time with my friends, got to run around with them, got to see some good artwork and some panels. Got lots of footage, as you probably have seen by now. And whoa, yeah, I like to keep my box of the word upright, and it was a pleasant experience. But alas, my time has come to an end here, as has Paul's. And thank you everybody for watching and putting up with my shenanigans here. Till next time, folks, you know this is not the end of my YouTube channel. I'm going to keep going. I've got lots more stuff to do. Well, till next time, folks. Bye.